Ayo, back at it again with another YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. Please excuse the fact that the lighting in this room is not the greatest. It's not the greatest. Second thing, I just launched a podcast that'll be linked in the description. So if you want to go check that out, that'd be awesome. And third of all, the video today is my NFL mock draft. I pull it up behind me, behind you on my computer. So we're only doing top 10 because if I do more than top 10, we'll be here for a while. I really don't want to waste time. So it's Bengals, Redskins, Lions, Giants, Dolphins, Chargers, Panthers, Cardinals, Jaguars, and Browns. So after about the first two picks, I start like most mock drafts have it one way, and then I have it going another way after like the second or third pick. So you can disagree with me. Let me know in the comments. Bengals, I have them choosing Joe Burrows because he's a very clear number one overall pick. He's from Ohio, so I mean that'd be cool. And they just need a quarterback because I think Andy Dalton is a good quarterback, but I don't know. I think you can have Andy start and then Joe behind him and like work out the kinks. Kind of what Patrick Mahomes did behind Alex Smith in Kansas City. I'm not sure how much. I don't know if Andy Dalton's under contract for them. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think Joe Burrows goes number one. He's incredible. He balled out 60 touchdowns, just won a national championship. So yeah, for me, he's the clear number one pick that the Bengals should definitely take. Obviously, you could take Chase Young, but I have him going to the Redskins at number 2. The Redskins need a lot of help, and I think Chase Young is the best person at the number 2 pick. The Redskins could use offensive help, defensive help, so you can totally go with anybody, but Chase Young is probably the best option. And I think Ohio State is slowly becoming defensive end U, while Iowa is tight end U, Florida State is cornerback U, and I think USC is probably becoming wide receiver U. So yeah, Chase Young, defensive end from Ohio State at 2. So this is where I start deviating from normal mock drafts, because at 3 you're probably gonna take. Most mock drafts have Jeffrey Okudah at number 3, cornerback from Ohio State. Ohio State would have 2 and 3 going to the Lions here, but I went a different route. I have Tristan Wirfs, offensive guard, going to the Lions because here's my rationale. I was debating between Wirfs, a wide receiver like a CD Lamb or Jerry Jeudy, or defensive help, Jeffrey Okudah. But I decided, now this is just my rationale, but Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. And when healthy, he is putting up very good numbers, MVP caliber numbers, when healthy, playing a full 16-game season. And I think that if you get a guard help or an offensive line help, then that helps him tremendously. Now, they could take Okudah. He would fit perfectly here in the Lions system, what Matt Patricia's trying to do in Detroit. So yeah, I think you can go either way. Number 4, the Giants. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Mekhi Becton, offensive tackle. Now, most of the top 10, I have offensive linemen. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 offensive linemen, whether it's a guard or a tackle, going in my top 10. Because I feel like most of these teams need protection for their investments, and that's quarterbacks. I'll get into that later. But the Giants are going to need to protect Daniel Jones and the asset they picked last year. And I just think that, I mean, you could totally go with defensive help here, but I feel like if you're trying to protect an asset that you covet, then you need to protect that. Number 5. Now here's where I was very torn, because most mock drafts have Tua Tagovailoa going to the Dolphins. Now my rationale is different. I feel like Fitzmagic is good for about another year, and Josh Rosen takes over. And I feel like Josh Rosen is a very capable quarterback, and Tua has very unique health concerns with that ankle, and the surgeries that he's had at Alabama. And I feel like Josh Rosen would be the option there for the foreseeable future, while taking Isaiah Simmons from Clemson at safety at the number 5 spot. Because Dolphins trade away Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Steelers this year for whatever reason. Trade away Ryan Tannehill to the Titans for whatever reason. Well, we all know the reason. They weren't fitting well in Miami's system. And they traded away Kenyon Drake to the Arizona Cardinals, and all 3 of them balled out without the Dolphins. And that's, unfortunately, that's typical. In the past couple of years with the Dolphins, they haven't been successful as much as the talent that they've had on the roster. I don't know. I feel like there were a couple of years where they had a shot at a wild card, but that's whatever. Number 6, Chargers. Now, I did a little bit of assuming. I did a little bit of an assumption for this one. So, I'd have Jerry Jeudy at the wide receiver position at the number 6 spot, because I feel like I just made the assumption that Brady, if he doesn't return to New England, probably the most likely target will probably be Los Angeles. So I just made that assumption. Whether it happens or not, we'll find out. And Jerry Jeudy is a very capable wide receiver, and to complement, even without Brady, and whatever quarterback the Chargers field, you have Keenan Allen, Jerry Jeudy on the other side of the field. That is a dynamic wide receiver duo, because Keenan Allen is, personally, he's one of the most underrated wide receivers. Personally, the most underrated wide receiver in the National Football League is Kenny Galladay from the Lions. He balled out this year, but no one knows about him because he plays for Detroit. And that's unfortunate, because he had over 1,000 receiving yards and just completely torched secondaries all year long. So that's my pick for the 6th spot. Panthers, I have Derek Brown. I didn't really know how to feel about this one, because they have their quarterback situation. They need defensive help. The offense is kind of like one-dimensional with Christian McCaffrey. You could implement another weapon in that system, or you could take an offensive lineman, guard, tackle to, whatever. But I took defensive help, and I think Derek Brown, the best option at this pick. Cardinals. This is where another offensive lineman goes off the board for me, because they need to protect Kyler Murray, because the Cardinals need offensive line help really, really, really badly. They need to protect K1 back there. And I had Jedrick Wills, and he's, I think, a guard. Maybe, I just have it written down in the notes as O-line. And that works because they need O-line help. Number 9, Jaguars, CeeDee Lamb. Now, to be completely honest, Jaguars are a very defensive-based team. They always have been. Well, more or less. The past couple of years, very defensive-oriented team. They got to the championship game a couple years ago through that very, very good defense, and the offense coming up clutch. Wasn't a top 10 offense by any stretch of the means, but they got there. So I'm really happy that Nick Foles is down there, but he got injured. Gardner Minshew did a very good job, and I'm definitely on the Minshew bandwagon because he's definitely a walking meme, and I love that dude. But if you don't really have many weapons to throw to. You got Fournette that's in the backfield, which is decent, but he's injury prone. But when healthy, like Matthew Stafford, can ball out year in and year out at MVP caliber type numbers if playing a full 16-game season. So I have CeeDee Lamb because the only other really offensive weapon that they got is DJ Chark. I think that's AJ Chark. Chark's the other wide receiver. That's all I know. So to complement that and to get that offense moving, I feel that would be a very good investment. And number 10, the Browns. I don't know what happened to the Browns this season. I really don't. There's so much talent on that team. But they're at the number 10 spot. And I don't have a quarterback because they already got their quarterback. I don't have a wide receiver because they already got some solid wide receivers. So I had O-line help and Andrew Thomas. Just kind of bulking up that offensive line because you definitely need, if Baker Mayfield is going to perform for you, you kind of need to surround him with pieces to succeed. And I think that's the best way. So that's my top 10. You can disagree with me, leave it in the comments below. Let me know. But I'm also going to talk about a few more things. Where I think Herbert, where I think Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa could land, where other options could land. Personally, you got other teams in the market for a quarterback. The Colts could use a long-term investment because I don't think Jacoby Brissett could be that option. So I think you could totally take a Jordan Love or Justin Herbert or Tua at the Colts. I think they're 15 at the 15th pick because Jacoby Brissett is a good quarterback, but he's not your franchise quarterback. And that's my opinion. Totally disagreeable. So Tua could land there, and that's a more long-term option because you don't know what is going on health-wise with his ankle and the surgeries. Personally, I would love the Bears to take a backup quarterback. That could be a Jordan Love or that. Well, we don't have a first-round pick. I don't know. That would be cool. Justin Herbert. Honestly, I think Justin Herbert can land anywhere. Personally, I think the Raiders need to move on from Derek Carr. That's an option. The Chargers could take him at the 6th spot. Who else? The Dolphins could take a quarterback if they decide Josh Rosen's not the guy, and they need to decide that ASAP. Jets don't need a quarterback. They got Darnold. He's doing good. Lions don't need one. They got Stafford. They could use a backup. So there's just options. Titans, I don't know what they're doing at quarterback position. So there's just options that those 3 quarterbacks could land anywhere at any time and could totally surprise us. So with that being said, again, sorry for the lighting. I'm sure it's pretty shitty in here. Second thing, podcast will be linked down below. And third, but not least, thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.